Yeah, he's been like this since I got back from the gym. No, he's still breathing, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll call you if there's any changes.
What the fuck, Gabe?
I was just trying to help you wake up. What the hell happened to you?
What the hell do you mean? I was just sitting here trying to watch Ninja Resurrection and then you just bamfed right in front of my face.
You were just about to watch it? I'm here to record the episode. What day do you think it is?
Wednesday.
It's Friday.
Well, maybe I just got the date wrong. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that Ninja Resurrection is so bad that it rendered me catatonic for 2 whole days. Isn't it?
What the hell are you looking at?
Just get in the chair, Gabe. Welcome to Ninja Month, where we celebrate the most lethal of all killers, the most silent of all assassins, and the most saturated of all internet memes. Yes, the ninja. Few marriages between portrayal and subject have yielded such awesome sights like anime and ninjas. Most of the time. Indeed, who better to tell stories of these stealthy killers than the country that bore them, even though the actual history of the ninja isn't anything like how it's seen in the movies, but that's not the point! The point is that ninjas kick ass and anime about ninjas kick ass. Most of the time. And we start off on a controversial note with Ninja Resurrection, a curious little title that had the unfortunate marketing of being branded a sequel to Ninja Scroll, which it wasn't. At all. Though I can't see why anyone thought that this had anything to do with Ninja Scroll. I mean, look at the 2 titles. Completely different. Normally I would have more to say about the anime at this point, but, well, it's a little embarrassing to admit. I haven't seen it yet. I know, it's very unprofessional of me. However, let's look at it as a chance for us to experience Ninja Resurrection together. I feel like this is a reference to something. Well, this looks promising. The anime starts with a sort of primer on Japanese feudal history and their battles against Christian encroachment. Not sure how accurate this all is, but it's a nice touch regardless.
Yukinaga's Christian beliefs prevented him from committing suicide. He fled to the mountains of Ubuki and was captured 4 days later. He was executed at the Rokujo riverside in Kyoto.
What the? Was he phasered to death? What the hell was up with that transition?
He enforced a rigid ban against the new religion and exiled many missionaries. One, who lived in Amakusa, wrote a book of prophecies known as Suekagami. 20 years from this time, when the sky burns and famine strikes, the child of our god, Tenchi, will be born.
So what part of this prophecy says that Tenchi will one day gain the power cosmic supreme and then reset the entire universe on a whim? Or are you talking about a different Tenchi? Well, considering that the name Tenchi literally means heaven, earth, I get why they rolled with it, but why am I feeling like this OVA has suddenly taken a turn for the 700 Club? Wasn't this supposed to be about ninjas?
He will be known as was Christ. He will hoist the cross and save the people.
So, you're saying that Jesus will be reborn in Japan, and he will save all the people, and somehow ninjas are involved.
Because just as he's out there and he's about to die and pass into his fucking heavenly kingdom, the glory of God, 2 ninjas swing in.
Sold!
It foretold that if his destiny were blocked and he did not become Christ, Tenchi would return as Satan.
So he's either Jesus or he's fucking Satan. Gabe, pop some corn and don't be stingy with the butter, because we're about to watch a masterpiece unfold here. Looks like we start off with some guards hunting down Christianity wherever it may hide. On Christmas Day, of course. Did that guy steal that mallet from Tom and Jerry? Look at the size of that thing! I'm surprised it didn't make a crazy cartoon sound effect. Unfortunately, it looks like the guards are careless assholes and wind up shooting a kid. But it's okay, people, because the crucifix he happened to be carrying around stopped the bullet and he's alright. Hold on, is this supposed to be the miracle he saved by carrying a tchotchke in his pocket? That's not a miracle, that's a happy coincidence. You know, I am sick to death of wishy-washy...
Look, it's the Virgin Mary.
Popcorn!
Well, false alarm, guys! Not only does this anime definitively state that there's a god, but he has given unto us his only son, in the form of this Japanese kid. Apparently, Jesus is like the Avatar and keeps changing forms every time he's born. First he's black, and now he's Japanese. What's next, a white Jesus? Woo, that'd be silly. With Jesus on your side, anything is possible, it seems, as we flash forward years later and the Christians are mounting a rebellion against the Japanese Empire, fueled only by their faith and resolve. And holy firebombs, of course.
As a reward for your piousness, he has chosen to protect us so that we may continue to worship him. As long as Lord Shiro...
Okay, hold the phone. Who the fuck is Shiro? I thought his name was supposed to be Tenchi.
When the sky burns and famine strikes, the child of our god, Tenchi, will be born.
So is he not Jesus? Then how the fuck did he reassemble that statue and put on that light show? And where the fuck are the ninjas?
Is this young man your little brother?
Yes, he is, Lord Shiro. Sister! Hush, don't talk right now. What?
Would you like me to ask someone to prepare a meal so that you can have some dinner?
Ask someone? You're fucking Jesus! Or not? Can't you just, Jesus that shit?
Where's the loaves coming at you,
I don't know, guys. I think the anime is starting to slip a little. I mean, we've already established the Christian uprising and rebellion, but now we're literally retreading the same ground again with another exposition dump.
In October of 1637, rioting broke out among the farmers of Shimabara. They formed a Christian army, long on bravery but short on experience. Undaunted, they overtook Harano Castle, led by 16-year-old Tokisada Shiro Amakusa and his old military teacher, Soiken Mori.
Thank you for reminding us. And further, I'm not sure which side the story is on. I mean, yeah, the general might as well have evil tattooed on his forehead, but when you break the story down to brass tacks, this is the Japanese Imperial Army against Jesus. So we should be on Jesus' side, especially since we have barely any time spent rounding out any of the characters on the Imperial side. But when we do, the characters aren't framed in a villainous way, unlike the general. So we're supposed to root for the anti-Christian Imperial Army? Historical accuracy aside, they do know that Jesus is supposed to be one chill dude no matter what your walk of life is, right? I mean, this is like asking us to be on the side against Mr. Rogers. God, this is one bug-nutty anime.
You've been here before.
What?
I said your nose is bleeding again. Are you alright? Are you having a stroke? Please tell me you're having a stroke.
Just shut up! I'm fine! Give me a tissue. God. Let's just move on. It looks like the Empire is done taking the Christians' shit and sends out an elite team of possible ninjas to infiltrate their cross-shaped castle. They established they only took over that castle 6 months ago, so what? Did they remodel an entire castle in only 6 months? Or did they happen to take over the one crucifix-shaped castle in all of Japan? The infiltration works like a charm, and it leads to a bloodbath, and I'm starting to feel even more emotionally confused than before, because now it's the Imperial Army that's slaughtering innocent families, but the Christian soldiers are just as ruthless and brutal, crushing soldiers with boulders. I guess I'm supposed to be latched onto Jesus, but there's almost nothing to this character other than, I'm Jesus, lol. So I guess that leaves this guy, but I don't even know his name. He just appears and everyone acts like he's important, so I guess he is. Seems pretty good with a sword, at least. You know, pretty good. And look, he leaves the kids alone, so I guess we finally have our hero. 21 minutes into the anime. But hey, see, he's confronting Jesus and letting him speak, so there you go.
You must be Tokisada Shiro Amakusa, leader of the Christian rebellion. My name is Jubei Yagyu.
No. You don't mean Jubei Yagyu, one of the most famous and storied samurai in all of Japan's history, who was never a ninja. Oh, what balls ADV had calling this Ninja Resurrection, just because the main character has the same name as the lead in Ninja Scroll. Yeah, he wasn't a ninja there either, but there were tons of ninjas in Ninja Scroll, so at least the title fit. How many ninjas does Ninja Resurrection have? The answer is none. None ninjas! God damn it! Do you mean to tell me that I kicked off Ninja Month with an anime that has no ninjas in it? What else can go wrong?
You cannot trust that man. Look at what he has already done!
Traumatized by the kids, he goes berserk on Jubei, and then calls for God to grant him his power.
My father has heard me and granted my prayer! My revenge!
Huh. Oh, damn it.
What happened?
He bled out in front of the camera talking about Ninja Resurrection.
Oh my god. I remember now. The insane plot, the character moments that just come out of nowhere, the absolute balls to the wall!
Shouldn't we be saving this for the review? The lights and cameras are still set up, man.
Yeah. You're right. She's gonna get cleaned up. Pardon the interruption, ladies and gentlemen, but it seems I was indisposed for a little while, but I assure you all that I am fully well and have retained all of my faculties and can proudly get back to the question at hand. What the fuck?! There is so much layered crazy going on in this scene alone that I still think I haven't gotten all of it, even after watching this scene over and over again. Seriously, I must have gone over this one segment of film more times than conspiracy theorists went over the Zapruder film.
Back and to the left.
Okay, Let's start from the top, when the general walks into the scene with the severed heads of the children. First off, he kills the kids himself in the most out-of-the-blue manner possible. He just appears out of the darkness and then produces a sword from who knows what dimension and slices them to ribbons, then presents their heads as proof of Jubei's untrustworthy nature. Like, did he plan for the Empire to break through their ranks and put themselves in this position? Well, if that were true, he certainly took steps to keep that from happening, convincing Jesus here to keep with the revolt. Also, what if Jesus didn't believe him? Yeah, he's a credulous little simpleton, but all it takes is just a shadow of a doubt to figure that this obviously evil-looking guy, carrying around the severed heads of children, might have killed them. But that is just the start of this madman parade on the senses. Why don't we continue on to Jesus' heel turn, which could not have been more over the top if they had Rip Taylor come in and throw confetti from an Uncle Sam hat. So, because Jesus is a rock-stupid asshole, he immediately takes his word for it that Jubei killed those kids, and then calls upon God himself to imbue him with his power so he might exact his revenge. Okay, I must have missed the part in the Bible where Jesus got tricked into hulking out and laid waste to Judea. But if it is in there, then I am checking into the nearest cheap-ass motel room and stealing the Gideons right now. And to further compound this dickwhip to the brain, the voice actor playing Jesus manages to reach a new pinnacle in exasperated, at-your-wits-end monologues.
My father has heard me and granted my prayer! My revenge!
This guy has acquired abilities of the Dark Gundam with the help of Kyoji!
In a lot of ways, this actor Martin Burke manages to out-crazy fucking Domon Kashu. Make no mistake, Mark Gatha here set the standard for screaming insanity, but his was a series that had to have that same speech in every episode, to the point where you kind of look forward to it, along with its blatant racism. Tequila Gundam. But here, there is no expectation, and no time to prepare for Burke's shrill, almost dog-whistle-toned madness. And we're still not done yet! It's not just that Jesus called out to God to grant him powers, it's that God answers, transforming him into a terracotta dragon! And who's going to save Japan from Jesus? Jubei Yagyu, a real-life historical samurai. I don't even know how to respond to this! Fuck, I don't even know what to call this. Jingoism? Nationalism? Cultural chauvinism? They haven't invented a word for the notion of writing a story in which one of your nation's historical heroes fights another culture's god who just so happens to be real.
Get him, Jesus! Cut him down!
Then, I found out this little nugget of information. Jesus here is based off a real historical figure. Meet Amakasu Shiro, a teenager who led a Christian rebellion against the Japanese Empire in 1638. He was known to his followers as Heaven's Messenger, and some attributed him to having miraculous powers. The story goes that he was betrayed by one of his own men, who let slip to the Empire that their supplies were running low during the siege of Hara Castle. Accounts say that there were no survivors, save for the allegorical Judas, Yamada Uemosaku. Now, let's review. This anime reinterprets these historical events so that Shiro did actually have divine power, but was misled into using his power for evil, and the only one who can stop him is Jubei Yagyu, a storied samurai whose accounts are largely unverifiable and probably false, and most likely did not take part in the rebellion. This would be the equivalent of us writing a story about Joseph Smith actually having Mormon powers, and he's wrecking all kinds of shit out in Utah, and the only one who could save us is Davy fucking Crockett! I'm sure that there is way more that we could talk about right here, but we have to move on. The anime isn't even half over yet. So, Jesus turns into a dragon, and then proceeds to fight Jubei, but luckily his crew has his back, armed with grappling guns, missile launchers, and a steam-powered Iron Man suit. You know, Apocalypse Zero also had a lot of wackadoo shit in it, but at the very least, it was all done with a sense of self-awareness. There's no denying that AZ is legitimately dumbfounding, but there is a sense of irony to be had here. In fact, on re-examination, I would consider the anime to be a black comedy. But here, there is nothing to suggest that what we are seeing was done out of anything other than sincerity. Guys, I think they actually believe in this coked out story. And if that doesn't scare you, you're lying. Finally, Jubei lands a sweet hit on Jesus, impaling him through the chest so hard that it catapults him 100 feet back and through a fucking cathedral.
There is no God. He is a figment created by the weak to give their miserable lives hope.
What? So that light show and that Madonna being rebuilt, him turning into a dragon means God doesn't exist?
If you wish to be reborn, you must become one with my daughter Ocho.
Go on?
This is Makai Tensho!
Wait. No! 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 So, that happens. No Ninja Jesus movie is complete, it seems, without a demonic sex scene, complete with burning church and blood-crying Madonna. This has officially gone past lunacy, folks. This is now apeshit psychotic. Keep in mind, this is all so that Jesus could be reborn as Satan, who exists without a god. Fucking figure that one out! Thankfully, the episode calms down by the end, and we actually have a pretty serene and sobering scene of the piles of dead left after the rebellion, and we end on a shot of Jesus' head piked onto a crucifix. I know I've been harping on just how insane this anime is, but I will give credit where and when it's due. The animation and stark use of color is very striking, and nowhere is it showcased better than this dialogue-free scene of Jubei saying his prayers to the two children, and the sheer number of corpses that were left. It's all very affecting. We also finally learn a bit more about our main character Jubei in the next episode, as we open with a flashback to his training with his father.
You have killed again. I have forbidden you from bloodshed forever. Why did you do this?
I had no choice, Father.
Do not tell me that you had no choice. No matter how dire the situation, one always has a choice.
Well, I guess he could choose to let himself be killed, but what kind of a choice is that? Yeah, you can cite your Captain Kirk, I don't believe in the no-win scenario all you want, but just because there's always a third option doesn't mean taking it will lead you down the better road. Or succeed at all, for that matter. Sometimes you're smaller than the situation and you gotta play ball. And sometimes your father challenges you to a duel and throws a kunai into your eye.
I warned you I would treat you as any foe. Yet I knew you would not harm your own father. I used this knowledge against you. You must always win your fights, Jubei, even if it means exploiting the sacred love between father and son.
So you don't want your son to kill people or to shed any blood, but you also want him to win at any cost. And to prove this point to him, you threw a fucking kunai into your own son's eye. Is anyone surprised that Jubei kills people for a living? Weirdly enough, the anime seems very interested in fleshing out the setting with historical detail as we cut from Jubei being banished by his father to what amounts to a history lesson. It's all very interesting on an intellectual level, but it's utterly pointless to the story itself, especially since half of the people they're talking about is found nowhere in the anime. Well, at least it can be said that I learned something from Ninja Resurrection, that the human mind is limitless in what the fuckery. And speaking of what the fuckery, it seems that the anime is not content in fucking your shit up in one way, as we shift to this really cringy and atonal scene. I mean, up until now, the anime has been like this. And now it's like this. You follow blood orgies, satanic rituals, and mass murder with a scene of a brother and sister awkwardly playing in a stream. This is like following the D-Day scene in Saving Private Ryan with any of the love scenes in episode 2.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Not like here. Here everything is soft and smooth.
It's fairly obvious that there was a dip in the quality of the animation between episodes, and it's made even more obvious when the plot arrives at Yagyu Castle in the form of Colonel Mustard here, unless the animators intended to make a Night of the Roxbury reference. Seems Mustard here is the father of these two kids, and he is none too pleased that his daughter was out fishing and not being all too refined.
A samurai daughter out killing snakes and rolling around in the mud? Bad girl!
No biscuit! You want a rolled up newspaper to whap her nose too while you're at it? Mustard, really, what is your problem here? More to the point, why are you here?
Tomorrow I must take Ohina and Ennui back to Kishu with me.
What? I don't want to. I refuse to go with you. I want to stay here near Jubei.
You must. This is by mandate of Lord Yorinobu Tokugawa, our ruler.
Lord Yorinobu?
Correct. He has ordered that we bring him all unmarried daughters of noble families between the ages of 15 and 22.
Ahem! I believe I said 18 through 22. You're confusing me with that other cretin. Well, what can I say? I'm a sucker fan. Not sure I follow. That's probably for the best. So Mustard leaves with his daughters, even though the whole situation smells rotten and everyone knows it, but I'm sure they'll be alright and they'll be treated well. Or it could go down exactly as you thought it would. Meet Satan's buddies, I think, who are just biding their time waiting for Satan to be reborn. Now, as haphazardly as this anime introduces these characters, I can't be too mad at it, now that there's actual ninja shit going down. Ooh, does it look good too, as Dr. Destiny here goes toe-to-toe against a dozen of Japan's deadliest. Looks like even odds to me.
What's the matter?
Okay, you might have been terrifying, Dr. D, but not with that Neil Goldman voice. He may sound like a lisping dork, but this dude cleaves through these guys, using his own intestines as razor wire. All of a sudden, that machete scene doesn't look so impressive now, don't it? However, one of them manages to get away and reports his findings to Jubei's father. But it seems it's too late for them to do much of anything about it, because they start the ritual for Satan's rebirth. And holy hell, what a fucking scene it is. I wish I could show you all of it, just so you can see how mesmerizing it is to watch. I don't think I've ever seen a more gruesome, more jaw-dropping, or more compulsively watchable villain entrance. From the moment the scene starts to where Satan literally rips himself out of that woman's body, you are just glued to your seat. It took nearly 2 whole episodes for this anime to have a legitimately good part, but god damn it do they deliver. So Satan is reborn, he has his minions by his side, and he is slaughtering innocents by the truckload. How will Jubei save the day? Yup, it ends on a cliffhanger because they couldn't get a 3rd episode made. So that's it. Satan's unleashing hell on Earth and everyone dies. The end! This anime may be the weirdest piece of shit I have ever seen in my life. And I think I love it. I'm still grappling with this fucking turd even now, having sit through it multiple times. Thematically, tonally, religiously, and historically, this may be the most fucked up anime I've ever screened here on the show. The sheer amount of off-the-wall insanity is nothing short of inspired, and despite my many misgivings with it as a show, I can't help but love it as entertainment. The only shame here is that I started Ninja Month with Ninja Resurrection. There's no way we're going to be able to top this bonkers head trip. So, and I'd understand if you decided not to join us for part 2 of Ninja Month with Ninja Cadets. But I would be disappointed. Till next time. Long live your Lord High Regent Sage! Long live Benetopia!